blossom and or bloom, blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica Sup. I also go by Jet, and I am a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session, and this healing session is restoring your energy. So if you're new to the community, welcome, 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 babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, or daily, whenever you get what you get when you get in it, okay? So what do you do here? Well, when you come here, you do whatever you want, sweetness. So you can enjoy the healing, participate, you can fall asleep, you can just have this on in the background as something to play as you are carving out that time for your self-care. The most important thing is the self-care aspect of it, so you get to choose what you do, and we do this Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, that's when you go and you have fun. So welcome, welcome, welcome to all my new babies, and welcome, welcome back to all my returning babies. Mama loves you. Okay. So as we work on restoring your energy, it's going to be pulling away excess energy, negative energy, any kind of feelings that are anxious or anything like that, maybe even overthinking, cooling and calming down the aura. But before we get started, we say a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. May I touch you? Okay. You ready? Take a deep breath. Exhale. 2 more, sweetness. Final breath. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and our highest intention only. Please validate information from our highest self only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe. 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 Okay. So, I hope you enjoyed the prayer. And I hope you like how it's changed over time. It's going to continue to change. I always encourage everyone to change, keep changing, and keep growing. So now we're going to get into the restoration part. So just relax your energy down. Take your time. Take your time. And let's just work on overthinking first, okay? Because sometimes we can be really tired, but the mind is just like, so let's go for the thoughts first. Each little thought, each little thought, each little thought, each little thought, just take it. access energy. I actually got that from Netflix. Has this series. It's called Explained. That's what it's called. They talk about a lot of stuff, but they were talking about the mind. They have this kind of like, it's like a limited series about the mind. So good. And then they went over anxiety. Oh, that was really good. And they were talking about how like your body gets in a state of fight or flight when you're anxious. And they were talking about, well, how do you relieve that, and what systems shut down when you're anxious? But one way to burn off that excess energy is, as they were saying, like exercise or something that really takes movement. And I'm like, wow, that's free. That's free. Just run around a little bit. But it's just very interesting and very fascinating, you know. And I think what really like got me was the evolutionary perspective of us as a species, you know, like where our species is about 200,000 years old. You know, hominids date back probably over 6 million years, but our specific species, Homo sapiens, it started around 200,000 years ago. And so for us to have these instincts that make sense because of how we developed in that moment, but how we continue to carry these instincts now today when we have different situations, when things are much different, it's just so amazing. So it explains why someone can be very fearful or anxious of something that really can't physically hurt them, because the wiring, our wiring as a species and our adaptability to a new environment has now made us believe that this thing can hurt us. And you know, I talk about psychosomatic conditions where we have emotional trauma or emotional hurting or things that are happening on the inside, and as it manifests out in the physical side, and that within itself is basically saying like this instinct that we have, these things that our, you know, species as a whole has, in order to kind of make it through life, has now adapted to our modern day environment. So when someone is having deep anxiety, a panic attack or something like that, it feels like, you know, true danger is happening. And so the reason why I wanted to explain it is that life isn't just happening to you. You have more power than you know, but I think power comes from understanding what's happening first. And when you understand what's happening first, you then empower yourself to be able to make changes or to be in control of how you want to move or what works best for you. I say it all the time, you know, it is important to know what's going on in your body. It's important to understand your lineage and your legacy, because baby, let me tell you something. If you go through life and you have a string of unfortunate events, if you do not know your lineage or your legacy or your ancestors, you might just think other people have it easy. You might just think it's happening to you. But when you have these stories of resilience and you have these stories of people that you come from that have made it through, you know, similar situations or worse, you start to realize, oh, I'm built for this, you know. But if you don't, if you're disconnected and you're just, you know, kind of like a island, then you don't get the benefits of knowing that for generations, people of this species have been able to get to the other side. Because for us, we think the beginning of time is whenever we were born, you know. And then we start to realize through history and, you know, things like that, that time has existed before this moment. And that's the biggest cheat code in life, to pay attention, you know. To pay attention to history. That's actually, it's a sign of a great civilization if they continue to not only document their history, but document the history that is before. Because sometimes when you delete a lot of history, which has happened over and over again, the group of people, they have to start all over again. So they have to rediscover things. And it's just so amazing that now we are in a world where everything is pretty much, you know, connected. And we are moving so fast. Like, think about it, you know, we just as we started to farm agriculture, we made the first civilizations. It was no longer like, small groups just going about. We now had infrastructure. And then, we started to develop technology. We started to harness things and be able to amplify it. And it's like, if you look at our progressive nature of the inventions we've made as a species, it's like this. And then where we are now is like so I say all of that to say, I know it seems a little bit all over the place, but I say all that to say we're working on you getting out of your own way, because you are contributing to this big picture. That's why I'm always explaining these long stories, because you have to understand that you are contributing to this big picture. So you may feel like in the moment that you are not motivated, or you're anxious, or sometimes you just be like, should I really continue to do X, Y, and Z? But just know that you are contributing to the big picture, and it's okay to handle what you may feel moment to moment when times are maybe not going your way, or you have to adjust to a lot of change and things like that. But know that what you do matters. It matters. It matters. It matters. And you should put yourself out there. You should put your energy out there for us to be able to enjoy and to share, because that is what is moving us as a species. It's amazing, Let's just move this through a little bit more. I love reading stories of especially autobiographies of people who, they never, they go on to accomplish great things in some field, but they talk about in the beginning where they didn't necessarily feel like they could do it in the beginning. Not that they didn't have the ability to do it, but for some reason, some type of insecurity that came up, and that insecurity probably shows as anxiety, or if you have a lot of tough things that happen at once, then it might go into a bit of a depression and just all of these other things that may come up as well. And it's just so fascinating that them deciding, okay, well, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out and just keep going, then they were able to tap into their ability, which they were able to do it, and things just become less anxious because they faced it. And so I say that to say that it is completely normal, however you're feeling at all times. There's no such thing as the normal life. You ever heard people I just want to be normal? Baby, there's no such thing. Everybody, the way you're experiencing life is really how people experience life. It'd be over here, over here, up here, down there, all kinds of places. That's normal. That is the norm. That's the norm. So let's normalize the real norm. So sweetness, I hope this brought smiles to your face as we're going through this healing, because sometimes you just gotta laugh, I think about it often. I'm always thinking about the big picture, and I know that, setbacks are just like, opportunities in your next story. That in the other story, it looked like, the end of a chapter or the end of something. So that's how it works. And sometimes you can't be like happy-go-lucky all the time. Sometimes you do need to be a little bit reserved. Sometimes you do need to be excited. Sometimes you do need to be chilling your energy. Sometimes you need to be like, motivated. All of these things and these feelings that you experience are normal. That's all. So, I'm going to continue to take out any doubt you may have. Anything taking up too much space. And moving the energy through. Relaxing the energy. Balancing the energy. Moving the energy. Finding peace in this energy. Finding abundance in this energy. Finding all that has ever been within you. You got it. 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 Beautiful. Well, family, you did a fantabulous job. Good job. Yay, you. Sweetness, Josh. Just continue to feel good, I think that it is important that you give yourself permission to walk into life. However, you need to walk into life. However, it may change or it may shift. And that's completely okay, You're not doing it the wrong way. There's not some right way. Every experience is pretty much negotiable. It really is, So now that you have that insight, you can wield that responsibly. So you can be sweet to yourself when times are tough. You can give yourself peace when you need to be reclusive. You can be motivated and put yourself out there when you are trying to expand. Work with the energy you have and be patient and take your time. Well, babies, if no one has said this, let me go ahead and say it. I love you, but who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. So love yourself a little bit more each and every day. Okay, until next time. Bye. Bye. Remember when kids are young and you be like they'll be laughing and then you say smile and